What is going on, Los Angeles Laker fans? Welcome to Purple and Gold Stream pre-game live talk. As the Laker take on the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, the tip-off starts at 5, just half an hour away from that first game of the 7-game road trip. It is a very exciting game. We can't wait to see how Lakers perform against the Bucks. Before we talk about this game, take a look at some of the highlights from the game against the Warriors on Monday. That game ended up ugly. The Lakers took a loss. They looked very disengaged in the second half. They looked like they didn't want to play. They didn't look like they wanted to win that game. They didn't deserve to win that game. As mentioned early in the post-game recap, Lakers looking to bounce back after that terrible loss against the Warriors. Pretty much disinterested. This is the first time I've seen Lakers play like that. They were leading 12 after third quarter. They just gave away that fourth quarter lead in quick. And they were never be able to recover after they had that off, shooting. Nothing was working well in the fourth quarter. They committed a turnover in the crucial time. LeBron James with the turnover. He got called for traveling, and then Draymond Green, that controversial call against that he didn't get called. The pivot fit, he took an extra step and then called a travel, and that review was correct, and they should have been, pretty much should have been reviewed after that one. But it's good. The Lakers lost that game, and we got to move on. They got to face a couple very worthy opponents in the Eastern Conference. Bucks tonight. They got Sixers and then Boston coming. Other than those games that are winnable, every game is winnable. The other 4 games, like Bulls and Cavaliers, pretty much not a. But Atlanta Hawks is also a dark horse, so you shouldn't forget that they got a match against Atlanta, but their record doesn't really tell that they're elite in the East. So let's talk about the keys to the game. They have to do the same thing they do every game, just have to start early. They need to have an early offense, try to get as much lead as possible, but don't settle. Of course, they should not settle. Even they have a large lead, they should keep pushing. They should try to finish that opponent early so that starter can get rest in the fourth quarter, especially LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They weren't able to do that against the Warriors because the game went down to the wire. They could have finished the game early. They had that 19-point lead in the first quarter. They gave away that lead in the second quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, pretty much, what we know what happened. Dennis Schroeder needs to be aggressive, keep feeding the ball inside, and need to look for his chance. And with the bench production, of course, is very important in this game. I think Milwaukee has a decent bench as well, but Lakers have one of the best bench this season. After acquiring Montreal Harrell and Dennis Schroeder starting, so Kuzma, Harrell, and Wesley Matthews, and the rest of the guys like Caruso, they need to step up and they need to provide some scoring off the bench. Milwaukee, of course, we need to watch out for the Giannis. You can let him do whatever he wants in the paint, but just make him stay outside. Don't try to make him go inside the paint and try to draw the foul or the dunk. Make him earn every points. That's what I think, and this X factor of the night, I think it has to be bench production. Of course, I will pick the. I don't know. I'll go with the Kyle Kuzma on this game because Kuzma is looking like he's doing more than just scoring for the past 3 games. He's been averaging double-digit rebounds in past 2 games, and if he can continue to do that, he can continue to do other than just scoring the basket. Try to defend and try to get some board, try to get his teammates involved, get a couple steals and block, they'll be good to go. So I'll pick a Kuzma as the X factor of the night. And who do you think will be the player of the game? And I will have to go with Anthony Davis, since Anthony Davis hasn't shown that aggressiveness since the Rockets game. He needs to really dominate inside the paint. I don't know if there's anybody in the Bucks that can stop AD. He can just shoot from anywhere. He can attack from anywhere. He needs to be the dominant guy. He needs to defend the ball, from the start. And he needs to attack the paint consistently, look to score, and do his job on both ends. I think the Lakers will take this win. We'll take the Lakers to maybe score 100 and Bucks about 95 or, even closer. The game might be a little closer than we expect. But as long as they get the win, that's all matters. They need to start really strong on the road because they have 7 straight games on the road, and they won't be going back home anytime soon. So they need to stay in the rhythm. The start is very important. First game is always important on the road trip. Oh, that's my take on tonight's game. And I don't know if you guys have the same opinion about this game, but Lakers definitely will take this win. And I'm looking that we'll get 12-4 after this game. And let me just cover a little thing about what's going on in the league. Of course, we know about the COVID-19 situation. 15 games has been canceled so far, postponed due to COVID-19. And, most of the Washington Wizards games have been postponed. They haven't played game since last week. The last time I remember, all their games have been postponed. Luckily, Lakers don't have a match against Washington this time. But you're not sure. You never know what game will be canceled tomorrow or even later this week. So we need to stay on the news. Of course, what happened with the New Jersey Nets. Kyrie Irving came back to the team lineup, and they lost against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They allowed Cavs to score 147 points. The Cavs is one of the worst offensive team in the league. They still allow them to shoot lights out. Most of the damage is done by Colin Sexton, scoring 42 points, his career high, scoring 20 points, including first overtime and second overtime. So that is just what New Jersey Nets are looking right now. They're not a defensive team. They have 3 guys who can score in any ways. They have offensive juggernaut like Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant. But they got a problem inside the paint. They need to really step up their defensive game and try to pretty much, do anything to stop guys getting into the paint. So there's a news about the NBA TV ratings, the national TV ratings, up 34% compared to 2019 and 20 season. So is this a good news for the NBA? Or maybe it's the Golden State effect. But the Golden State have Stephen Curry back. Last year, Golden State was nowhere near being in a contender. This season, they look like they're playing well. They got Steph Curry healthy. They got Draymond Green back. Klay Thompson is out for a whole year. But if Thompson's playing, do you think Golden State could be the top 5 team in the West? I would think so. They're playing like they're still playing good right now. But imagine if the Thompsons in the mix, they're gonna have a hard time. The other teams have a hard time defeating them. Even Lakers will have a little difficult time when they play against the Golden State Warriors. And this is interesting news. The Miami Heat plan to use COVID sniffing dogs at all security entrances when they reopen their arena to fans. So the Miami's decided to accept fans coming into the arenas. They will use coronavirus detecting dogs as they welcome fans back. And this is already implemented in Chile, Lebanon, Australia, UAE. They're doing a research about the COVID-19 sniffing dogs, and it's also some countries already apply this. So I hope it's effective. So when this is how it works, when dogs sniff the people entering the arenas, they could actually smell the type of chemical that's coming out of the person's body. So usually it's the smell that they can smell that the human, when they're positive, usually there's certain chemical substance that comes out of their body. They're not smelling the virus, actually, it's the chemical substances. So they're very sensitive about that, so they can smell it, and they can, anyone who they react could be positive. They're 92% accuracy of people with positive, 100% accuracy of people negative. So this is very, very accurate. The sniffing dog thing is very accurate. It's proven, tested, and they will implement to the Miami arena. So before the game, every time the people enter the arena, they will have the sniff dog detect the person, so they can tell whether if the dog react to that person, it means they could be either positive or negative in either ways. But I don't know if it's more accurate than the PCR test, polymerase chain reaction, but I'm sure it is getting tested everywhere, and they have shown some accuracy. So this is great news for the NBA. Hopefully Lakers can apply this as well, so then they could start accepting the fans to the arenas, and this will be very interesting. If this becomes successful, I'm sure a lot of other teams will try to apply that as well. And what is your prediction for? There's only 3 games going on today. I will be putting on some game cast once the Lakers game begin. So you guys are free to enjoy watching the game score. And I won't be doing any kind of game analysis during the game, but I'll put it on the score, and hopefully you guys can enjoy it and watch the score. It's the first time I'm doing it. All right, that's all for today. It's all I can cover for. And there's another news about the Christian Wood not travel with the team to Detroit for first game of their road back-to-back, since he's suffering right ankle sprain. John Wall's also out with left knee soreness. And Daniel House with self-isolating due to health and safety protocols. There are a lot of players in the Rockets that are actually injured list. So they're running short on players. Not due to COVID-19, it's more about their injury. So it's unfortunate for Rockets fans to see that happen. Even after the Harden trade, they acquired a couple players like Oladipo, Dante Exum from Cavaliers, and they have not been able to play. Well, Oladipo did play for the first game since he came back. There's a rumor about Victor Oladipo could be traded to Lakers for KCP and Kyle Kuzma. And what do you think about that rumor? I think it's definitely good for the Lakers, since they need a third scoring option, like a reliable scoring option. I know Dennis Schroeder could be that guy, but we want Schroeder to come off the bench, and we need a starter, some guys who can start and could really provide some numbers. And Victor Oladipo has been averaging 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Like, you remember when he was with the Pacers last year, he was providing all-star type of numbers. He's not doing the same thing this year, but because he suffered the injury. But we know what kind of player he is, and I would do this trade in heartbeat. Like Kuzma, KCP. I think it's sad to see KCP go, but KCP, we can replace him with any role players. Kuzma, also we can replace it, but someone like Oladipo, he's an all-star type of player. It's not easy to replace someone like that. You're gonna need to pay a big buck. But if we can trade with 2 players, we give away and get the all-star player, I'll do it anytime. If I'm a Rob Pelinka, I'll pull that trade, and I'm pretty sure LeBron will be happy with it. All right, that's it, guys. I will see you guys after the post-game recap, and I'll keep updated with the latest NBA news on my next pre-game live. All right, peace.